The galaxy believed humans were an uncivilized species that needed supervision, then they killed 400 innocent people and discovered something terrifying about humanity. Kindness was never our weakness, it was a choice. The first contact message from the alien coalition arrived quietly, almost politely. For decades, humanity had stared at the stars, waiting for proof that we were not alone. Scientists had listened to faint radio signals. Astronomers had mapped distant worlds, and dreamers had imagined civilizations far older and wiser than ours. So, when the message finally appeared across satellites, observatories, and deep space receivers around the world, people expected wonder. Instead, they received judgment. The signal translated itself almost instantly, as if the senders already understood every human language. Civilization of Earth, the message began, "You have been observed. Your species shows promise, but your violent history demonstrates a lack of maturity. For the safety of the galactic community, you will remain under observation until you achieve proper civilized standards." Humanity had officially been placed on probation. The message came from a vast alliance calling itself the Concord of Worlds, an interstellar federation composed of dozens of species who claimed to maintain peace throughout the galaxy. They had watched Earth for centuries, monitoring wars, revolutions, and technological progress. To them, humanity was dangerous. The world reacted with outrage and disbelief. Governments demanded proof. Scientists demanded communication. Ordinary people flooded the internet with arguments, memes, and speculation, but the Concord did not debate. Instead, they arrived. A fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system, thousands of sleek, silent ships forming an enormous wall of metal and light. They didn't attack, they didn't even move closer. They simply watched, then they made their rules clear. Humanity would not be allowed to leave its solar system. No faster than light technology. No colonization of nearby stars. No contact with other species. Earth was to remain isolated until it proved itself civilized. At first, many humans accepted the decision reluctantly. After all, our history was filled with wars, cruelty, and destruction. Maybe the Concord was right. Maybe humanity needed time to mature. So Earth obeyed. Years passed. Humanity continued its technological growth but remained trapped inside its cosmic cage. Space agencies could explore planets and moons, but every attempt to develop interstellar engines mysteriously failed. Prototypes malfunctioned, facilities lost power, research labs experienced unexplained shutdowns. The Concord never admitted interference, but everyone knew still. Humanity endured. The real turning point came 32 years after first contact. A colony mission was launched to Europa, one of Jupiter's icy moons. Scientists believed an underground ocean there could support life, and the mission was meant to be purely scientific. No weapons, no military presence, just exploration. The colony ship carried 400 scientists, engineers, and their families, children, were aboard. The mission never reached Europa. Halfway through the journey, something intercepted the vessel. Earth's telescopes recorded the event. A small Concord patrol ship emerged from warp near the colony transport. There was a brief exchange of signals. No one knows what was said. Then the alien vessel fired. One precise energy beam sliced through the colony ship's hull. Atmosphere vented into space. The transport spun helplessly, its engines destroyed. For 12 terrible minutes the world watched, as hundreds of human lives struggled in vacuum. Escape pods launched, the Concord ship destroyed them one by one. The transmission ended when the last signal from the colony faded into static. 400 civilians were dead. No warning. No rescue. No mercy. The Concord later released a statement. The unauthorized expansion of humanity beyond regulated boundaries constitutes a threat to galactic stability. The transport vessel was neutralized. Neutralized, that word spread across Earth like poison. Neutralized meant children gasping for air. Neutralized meant scientists frozen in space. Neutralized meant that humanity's overseers had decided our lives were expendable. Global reaction was immediate. Protests erupted across every major city. Governments demanded explanations, but the Concord refused further discussion. They believed they had disciplined a primitive species. They believed fear would restore obedience. Instead, Something else happened. Something ancient woke up inside humanity. For centuries, we had tried to prove that we were becoming better, more peaceful, more rational, more civilized, but civilization, humans realized, had limits. And the Concord had just crossed them. At first, Earth still tried diplomacy. Representatives pleaded for investigation, justice, or at least acknowledgement of wrongdoing. The Concord ignored them. Weeks passed, then months. The massacre faded from alien attention. Just another minor enforcement action among thousands of worlds, but on Earth, it never faded. Images of the destroyed colony ship were replayed constantly. The final recordings of trapped crew members circulated online. Families mourned. And engineers quietly began designing things humanity had once promised never to build again. The Concord thought humanity feared them. What they did not understand was that humans did not fear monsters. We studied them. For decades, scientists had secretly analyzed Concord technology. Every alien probe, every communications signal, every piece of debris drifting through the solar system had been examined. Now that research accelerated. Humanity had been forbidden from developing faster than light traveled. So instead we developed something else. Weapons. Not simple weapons, but terrifying ones. The Concord had thousands of ships, advanced shields, and centuries of technological advantage. Fighting them directly would be suicide. So humans did what humans always do. We adapted. Artificial intelligence networks analyzed alien combat patterns. Physicists studied weaknesses in shield harmonics. Engineers created stealth systems capable of hiding entire fleets in deep space. Factories across Earth and Mars worked day and night building vessels that officially did not exist, and through it all, the Concord continued watching. They saw increased activity on Earth, but they believed it was normal technological progress. After all, humans were still confined to their solar system. What threat could we possibly be? 10 years passed, humanity appeared calm again. Diplomats resumed neutral communication with the Concord. Trade of harmless scientific data began. The aliens believed the lesson had worked. They believed humanity had accepted its place. Then, one day, the Concord patrol fleet orbiting Pluto stopped responding. 3 ships vanished from there. Sensors. No explosion. No distress signal, just silence. The Concord dispatched a larger investigation force. 12 ships jumped into the outer solar system. None of them returned. For the first time, the Concord grew concerned. They sent a message to Earth demanding explanation. Humanity responded with a single broadcast transmitted across every frequency the aliens used. The message contained only 6 words: after the massacre, Earth has changed. The Concord immediately mobilized. Hundreds of warships jumped toward the solar system, prepared to enforce order once again, but when they arrived, the battlefield was already waiting. Human ships emerged from the darkness of space like ghosts. Thousands of them. Their designs were brutal angular armor, massive rail cannons, and strange energy emitters the Concord had never seen before. The alien commanders hesitated. Humans were not supposed to have fleets like this. They attempted communication. Earth responded with another broadcast. This one was longer. For the first time since first contact, humanity spoke not as a student, but as an equal. You watched us for centuries, the message said. You judged us. You told us we were too violent to join your civilization. The Concord fleet began raising shields. Human vessels continued surrounding them. You were right, the message continued calmly. We are violent, we are dangerous, but you misunderstood something important. The first alien cruiser suddenly exploded. A human stealth torpedo had already been attached to its hull. More ships detonated seconds later. Chaos erupted across the Concord formation. You believed civilization meant weakness, Earth's message said. You believed kindness meant surrender. Human warships opened fire. Mass drivers hurled tungsten projectiles at near-relativistic speeds. Alien shields struggled to absorb the impacts. Strange new weapons distorted gravity itself, crushing enemy hulls like paper. The Concord had fought many wars across the galaxy. They had never fought humans. You massacred civilians. The message continued, "You killed children, and then you called it enforcement. Alien ships attempted to retreat. Human fleets blocked every escape vector. So today, Earth finished. We announced something new." The final message echoed through space. Humanity is no longer pretending to be civilized. The battle lasted 9 minutes. When it ended, hundreds of alien ships drifted as burning wreckage. A few survivors escaped to warn the rest of the Concord. They carried a message humanity intentionally allowed them to hear. Earth was no longer contained because while the Concord believed humans lacked faster-than-light technology, that assumption had been wrong. Humanity had developed it in secret, and now the engines were ready. Within weeks, the first human fleets left the solar system, not as explorers, as conquerors. The Concord attempted to rally its member worlds, but panic spread quickly. Reports arrived describing human tactics that ignored traditional rules of warfare. Humans did not wait for permission to attack. They struck supply lines, communication hubs, and shipyards simultaneously. Entire fleets vanished before they could organize defenses, but something strange happened as the war expanded. Humanity did not attack civilian worlds. They targeted only military forces and leadership centers. Captured alien soldiers were treated well. Evacuations were allowed. Cities were spared. It confused the Concord. If humans had abandoned civilization, why were they still showing mercy? The answer came months later when Earth finally broadcast its declaration across the entire galactic network. Civilization is not weakness, humanity announced, but it must be protected. Images of the Europa massacre appeared on alien screens across dozens of star systems. The frozen bodies, the destroyed escape pods, the children. "You called this peacekeeping," humanity said. "You called this order." Human fleets continued dismantling the Concord military. One by one, member species surrendered. "We tried to join your civilization," Earth's message continued. "We tried to prove we were worthy." The final Concord stronghold fell 2 years after the war began. Its leaders expected extermination. Instead, human representatives arrived with a proposal. The Concord would not be destroyed. It would be rebuilt. But this time under new principles. "No species will ever again be judged as lesser," humanity declared. "No civilization will be imprisoned, and no massacre will be called enforcement." The alien leaders listened in stunned silence because if anyone tries it again, the human ambassador finished calmly, "You now know exactly what humanity becomes." Years later, historians across the galaxy would describe the conflict as the moment the balance of power changed forever. Humanity had proven something terrifying. We could be monsters, but we chose when to become them. And the stars would never forget the day Earth finally announced civilization had limits and humanity had reached them.